I think I did it. My live stream is in progress. Okay, I don't want to like be recording it at the same time. Oh my God, I'm on. Okay, I figured out. Hey everybody. Hi, I am working with my DJI OSMOS Pocket 3 camera. And I wanted to see if I was going to be able to live stream off of it. Obviously, I am now live streaming. It says I have an excellent connection, and now I know how to do it. So, isn't this great? Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see, if you do come into my chat, if I'm going to be able to see your comments. But yeah, this is I'm actually I really can't see your comments, but but I can figure that out. I mean, I could go on another device. I can see what you're saying if you actually really show up. But yay! I don't know how exactly I did it. I went into like the stream configuration or something like that, but it was happening. So I've been listening. Oh God, I forgot my coffee. Let me go get that. Hold on. So yeah. I guess what I should realize is that it's not going to do face tracking when I'm streaming. Let me see if I can turn the camera in the other direction. Let me see. Oh, there it goes. So, and it comes back to me. Oh, there, face tracking enabled. Now the gimbal will follow wherever I move to, which is super great, isn't it? Fantastic. I absolutely love it. By the way, just want to let you know a few things about Not My Rabbit Hole. You can buy me coffee. I actually got a Buy Me Coffee account. It's on, it's buymecoffee.com/Terry Joyce, T-E-R-E Joyce. And as you can see, I'm also been monetized recently. Got a new theme song. I think maybe I might play the theme song. Oh my God, I'm so glad I finally made this work. It took me so long to do it. Now, if I am going to actually live stream off of this device specifically, for whatever reason, I might do it because obviously I'm going to want to do different kinds of live streams with different kinds of cameras, depending on you know what I'm doing. I had to tell Ben Emlyn Jones has camera envy. He said, "Oh my God, because I am on the DJI OSMOS Pocket 3, and it's really wonderful. Next time I use this on my stream, I'm gonna put my little microphone on, and that will make a difference on the production. Matter of fact, let me show you what the microphone looks like. This is the DJI OSMOS Creator Pack, and with it, this is another little stand. I actually have this on I have a stand now. It's a selfie stick quasi stand that you can use. But with the Creator Pack, you get it comes with an extra battery. So I've got 200. It goes there's 100 in the main camera and then 100 in the second, and then there's a backup battery that you get. And then here is a little microphone that you can add to your productions. I love this camera, and what I really love is the face tracking and the automatic gimbal that's within the device. So when you're doing shots, you can, it's real smooth. Matter of fact, I used this camera for a lot of the footage that happened at Woodward Park with Ben Emlyn Jones. And, I've been watching some of his stuff. He has some different footage than mine about our time together. And, I suggest that, what happened here? Okay, oh, I see. It just kind of went to sleep there for a second. I don't know if I need this here. I don't know if I'm pinwheeling. Let me double check how everything's doing on my stream. Let me see. I feel like I'm kind of I might be having difficulty right now. Just double check. Look at my channel. Oh no, everything's fine. All right, so I don't even know if I have anybody watching, but this is just a test. So I'm working on a lot of new things right now. I'm wanting to add new content to Not My Rabbit Hole. I'm planning on doing a Super Soldier weekend coming up this next weekend, so stay tuned for that. Now, I wonder if I have to shut this live streaming. Oh, here I am. So tune in for that, the Super Soldier weekend. I want to continue with doing that. I started face yoga, which I did my first couple of times. I found this channel about like how to lift in here and up in here and stuff like that. So I want to document my progress, and I was thinking of doing a face yoga video. I'm sure you guys are excited about that one. But yeah, I'm going to do the Super Soldier stuff. And let me just make a comment about, let me see if anybody's in the chat. Let me just make a comment about David Schurter today. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this for a second. David Schurter, apparently somebody's been putting flyers around and accusing him of everything that he has. Oh, there I am going there. Hi, Oathkeeper. It's Robert Whiteside in pain in Palm Springs. Hi, Robert. Oh, I don't know. I mean, you wrote that, so hopefully I didn't go ahead and just dox you right there. Yeah, welcome to the stream today, and yeah, welcome. So, getting back to David Schurter, David Schurter has been, apparently these people putting flyers around, calling him what he's been calling a lot of other people on the internet, and I really don't want to like give that a whole lot of power by saying it on my channel, because there are certain things that I really don't want to say on my channel anymore, because I want to bring really good quality content. And I feel that, talking about those things on YouTube can really affect your algorithm. Although I still will talk about stuff. But if you've been following what David Schurter says, and you know who David Schurter is, then you know what I'm talking about. He has a book called Rabbit Hole that he wrote in 2012. And it's about satanic ritual abuse. And, I'm not disputing that that's not real. I mean, like within, especially since 2017 and on, a lot of people have talked about that. There's a lot of high profile cases about it. I have talked about it on another channel that I used to have, and I got a lot of backlash about it. And the problem that I have with it is that it has been weaponized politically, and it's been associated with only one party as being responsible for that. And I had a problem with that from day one. You know, if you ever look at something and it looks like only one side is guilty and that side happens to be an entire political party, I think it's important to question the validity of how the information is being disseminated. And that's been my problem with a lot of the claims. And the reason why I know about a lot of these things is because I worked, on a couple of stations. I mean, I wasn't really paid for it, but I did radio shows for quite a long time on channels that called themselves the Truth Media, channels that looked into various types of conspiracies and information and things like this, and things about UFOs. And, I began to question how this information was being disseminated, as well as people that were using it to grift or to make claims that they were healers. And that's where like the Sarah Rachel Adams aspect comes in, and also the reason why I have been associated to Truth Seekers and Stephen Cambion's show. And by the way, I really want to give a shout out to Stephen Cambion, because Stephen Cambion's helped me like actually get over the threshold to be monetized for the first time. And he's really supportive of other YouTubers, which is something that you don't always see. I'm loving it that this is working. The only thing that I don't like about the DJI OSMOS camera is that it doesn't allow me to look at the what's being said in the chat. But hi, oh, you called me sweetie. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good to come back. Actually, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on my channel over the especially the last since January to now, because I was finishing up my degree in digital journalism and at Fresno State. And so, I had 16 units. I was going for the finish line, and oh boy, I finished with flying colors. I just have to keep smiling about that. I'm going to say it like probably all summer that I earned my degree with a 3.77 GPA and graduated with high honors. I got into the MFA program for creative nonfiction writing. I'm super excited about that. I've been hired as a senior reporter for the Collegian next fall. So I'm excited about doing that. And I really feel like, especially like being a woman who's of older age, right? That I've had, like I have a second life. And I feel like I'm going to be able to do this a lot better than I did in the past, after, because I learned a lot of things in school that applies to doing podcasts and filming and making videos and social media, because that is also very much part of journalism. And okay, so I got, hi Pootie Twang, hi. What a wonderful DM day. Yes. Yeah. I knew. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about how wonderful it is. So Mr. Schurter, has been having, like today he did a video and he's talking about how like all these flyers came out in his neighborhood. And Pootie, is there some sort of like Facebook group that some information's being disseminated in? I'm going to wait for you to answer that for me, but that's kind of what I've been thinking's been happening, is that there's been online community groups that what David Schurter is doing has been put out there. And I feel bad for his sheriff, because his sheriff has been run through the mud and pretty much lied about, because David, I'm going to just keep playing with the tracking here, because get a kick out of that, because oh, modern technology, right? And this is such a tiny camera too. It fits in here. Okay, I know I'm being like ADD right now and digressing off of talking about David, but David, has been accusing his sheriff of some of the most foul, worst crimes. And, it's because, he won't do anything about people like me, who's absolutely innocent, living in a completely different state. His accusations are actually horrific. And I've had to endure them the entire time I was getting my degree. Meanwhile, he's telling people that, I'm trafficking kids, and I'm, I'm killing them, and, I'm doing all these awful things, when I don't know if, maybe David, did he go to college, or do you know what it's like to be in college? Do you know what it's like to be in college when you took many years off from being in college, and working a job at the same time? When would I have any time to ever do any of those things? And what a burden for me to have to go through and to be publicly humiliated day after day on TikTok and on his blog and on his YouTube channel, and, have my physical appearance, insulted, and, everything, every little, all these lies that came from a certain individual that also has a channel here on YouTube and is a musician and is involved with a lot of things that, well, we'll talk about that later, but it's all the same stuff. There was nothing ever original, talking about my hair being a wig, and then denying it, blaming me for stealing his Social Security and stealing his donations, and associating me with a group of people, and we're all evil, and sitting there on his camera and saying that, he's like the Grim Reaper of souls. I'm bringing you to the darkness. Well, you know what? If we're dark, and if we were even guilty of the crimes that you're saying that we are, well, maybe you might have some sort of spiritual power. But being that I'm innocent, I think that's going to backfire on David Schurter. And being that all the people that he's accusing, acting like this is the worker bees, forget about Diddy and, this over here and whatever that's, coming out in Hollywood. Oh, forget about all that stuff that's actually really worthy of people's attention and something that's really happening. No, he has to pick a person like me who's actually working on improving their life and doing something to bring something to YouTube that is worthwhile, rather than trash talk about somebody. And if you talk about it, well, then he's also a victim. Forget about the fact that anybody has the right to, talk about the defamation that he's doing on people blatantly, and then asking for a donation. You know what, David? I'm not asking for a donation. And if I did ask for a donation, it would be something like buy me coffee. Oh, I got a birthday coming up. You want to support the channel? You want to support my content? Not my defamation of people? Right? Clean up your channel and get yourself monetized. Or maybe you should go back to college. There's a lot of people going to college that have PTSD. Okay? There are no excuses to take the easy route and decide to pigeonhole innocent people and run their reputations in the mud when they're trying to actually better themselves and make a living. That's the danger. That's the problem. You're damaging somebody's ability to survive with lies. And I will talk about it because I am about the truth. And I'm also about busting people like him, busting people like David Wilcock, You know what's interesting is David Wilcock and David Schroeder do similar types of grifts. They all have special spiritual abilities. They're all giving some sort of prophecy. They're not just giving information. They're bringing in God or what they think God is and all kinds of other weird stuff. And that kind of runs into like grifter cult, give me donations, and then they vilify and they lie about people. David Wilcock is lying about saying the same things that David Schroeder's saying about me and other people. He's saying that about Stephen Cambion. Because it's the go-to thing. It's the go-to insult, right? It's the go-to insult. And I'm done with it. And I'll tell you something. It was really gratifying to see him get a taste of his own medicine today. That was really satisfying to see him publicly being, branded with what he accuses people on his forehead. So that's what I think about that, David Schroeder. Okay. I'm gonna read some of your stuff here. David is doing it all himself. He makes false accounts to pretend to harass him so he can play the victim. David put all those flyers up by himself. That's why he ran out of money. Early printed professional flyers is an expense he didn't budget for. Neil Gross is a great man. Vote for Neil. I heard David is fond of pigeonholes. Maybe David Wilcock needs some attention. So you're saying that he actually made those flyers of himself so that he can victimize himself? Are you sure? Pootie, don't do the Anananon thing and say, like Anananon did and say, I was trolling myself. Please. I mean, I'm not saying you are, but it is kind of interesting, though. I will say this, because I looked at, if you go on to his community page, he's posted those flyers, which looks like it's down on his property. And he has posted, it looks like I don't know, I'm thinking, okay, did people just set those things out in front of his house? Like, where specifically are these? Are they on a bulletin board? They're just putting them in his yard? Because if that's the case, then it maybe it is like highly likable, likely that he did that to himself. But why would he put his address? Why would he put his own address on the flyer and then also put his phone number on the flyer? I have a question about that. Okay. Where's the photos of the people putting them outside? Where's any videos, anything that's happened so they can see the sign? Okay, so if you go to, and you know what, I can't do a screen share right now. But if you go to his, well, maybe I can pull it up here. If you go to his page, all right, and you go to his posts, you will see them in the posts. And then here's one of them, right? But then here you can, here you can see, if you look at it, you can see where they're lying down there near the grass. Yeah. So, like they're like on the ground, see? And then he's posted about Shabbat Dirter. So, yeah. I'm tired of it. I'm ready for I'm tired of. Okay, that was me. I heard myself. I'm ready for him to. I'm ready for him to stop. Like, I'm ready for him to take my name out of his litany of people that he names. And these are the people that are, child killers. And then he goes through my name. Or I'm tired of him saying that I have anything to do with the demise of Isaac Cappy. I didn't even know Isaac Cappy. I was never in any of the chats. I was never in any, participating in any of his lives. I have no association to him whatsoever. I knew about him because I was in the media that was doing similar things as him, and we were commenting on him. Okay? But I never knew him. So to bring me a part of the Dead Isaac Happy Club is a huge joke, and I really don't appreciate it. Especially since it's not real anyways. But, I just to be marginalized as a person who's committed crimes that I never have is disturbing. And here's the main thing that's disturbing about it. And, David mentioned this, like, well, you're saying these things about me, and this is going to, I could have, violence incited on me. And it's like, okay, yeah, well, that's what you're doing to us. That's what you're doing to you're telling people that we should be put through a wood chipper and that you're going to get a t-shirt of it. I think that's pretty violent. I think that is pretty violent to say that on your YouTube channel and then also like pray about somebody. Like he was praying about Mr. Schoenberger and wishing for his last breath. Now, I don't really care for the man, but I don't think that's appropriate. I think that's pretty bad to pray for somebody to die. Like, how is that morally justified or okay? It's pretty wicked. It's pretty wicked. He prays. I even put this on my X account. I took a clip of it. He prays and then he swears to God. He swears, like, while he's praying. He's saying profanity to the Most High. Like, who does that? I just like his prayers are the worst, really. Not that I don't like praying. I love praying. I think it's great. I should pray more. But there's no humility in his prayer. None. Zero. He exalts himself and then wishes doom on people and then praises himself and then calls Jesus his brother as if he's Jesus's equal. I'm just like, it's definitely what he does is not Christianity. He practices shamanism and does things that, according to Christians, they're not supposed to do. In the Bible, you're not supposed to practice those things. But David somehow is able to exalt himself. He wants to give himself super soldier status. I mean, if we're going to talk about super soldiers or people with special psychic abilities, he elevates himself to all-powerful woo, right? Oh, I can bring you into the darkness. You're going into the darkness. It doesn't matter. You're suffering. I've been giving the gift to take you down. No, you don't get to touch any of us, David. Like, what part of what he does anybody think he's credible? And I don't see how anybody donates to that or supports it. And I'm highly suspect of most of the people's motivations in this chat and who they are. I see them over at other chats like Nathan Stoltman's. I think the cognitive dissonance goes from his chat to Nathan Stoltman's. And I find that to be an interesting dynamic. And then somebody, let's see what's happening here. I'm going to have to hide that one just in case, but I saw it, Pootie. It's pretty funny. David's God exists in his imagination. He said so himself, Pootie says. All his visions are daydreams, he said so himself. So he's only connecting to his own subconscious and calling it God. hence the mother God. That's the part of David that crossed. Okay. David can't even use the magic powers to tell who I am. Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm tired of it. And, this kind of talk has been going on for a really long time. From 2000, it goes back to 2000, to the first time Trump came into office. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? It came the first time when all that stuff started coming down the pike. Oh, let's, flesh out the deep state. Well, what is the deep state exactly? You think it's only just the Democrats? I used to think that. I voted for Trump twice. I voted for Trump because I believed what I saw. And I went, no, I'm going to vote against that. Not that I was really crazy about him. Now, the third time, no, I didn't vote for him. I didn't. Sorry. I'm not a fan anymore. Just like what happened, maybe that's my thing. I did the same thing with Obama. I fell out of favor with him too and didn't vote the second term either. So, but there's a lot of that permeating this, and there's a lot of people that believe that he's going to fix the world's problems, and I don't believe that one bit. And I'm surprised that there were so many, I look at some people like Lionel Nation, he's out there going, well, that nothing happened with the No King's Day. There's nothing to see here. What was their point? What was their point? I'm like, okay, what they're saying is that he's acting like a monarchy, that he's acting like a king, that he's acting like a dictator. And look how many people went and marched against that. Millions of people. Way more people marched for No Kings and showed up for his military parade. All right, that's a fact. And the court has upheld Gavin Newsom's, I guess he filed a restraining order. He filed something. I forgot what the term was, but say that the National Guards needs to leave California, that he did not have the constitutional jurisdiction or to override Gavin Newsom's decision of whether or not to bring in the National Guards. He got a slap on the hand for that. I don't see how that's a success for anybody. I know that, maybe my opinions are not, there are people that I like that have a different opinion than I do about this. But if we're going to be like Americans and have an open dialogue about what we think is, then we should respectfully be able to state how we feel about something. And if other people are going to make their assumptions or their opinions about what happened on Saturday, then, what's the difference if I have an opinion about what went on or what I read in the media? I found an article, I could bring it up right now, about how, what is it, 97 days or not in his administration, and this happens? I think that it would really behoove the president to see how the people really feel about him right now. Wake up and get to some, have a reality about it and start to be the president that people voted for him for. He answers to the people, not to him wanting to rule two other countries or claim other countries or whatever. So, when we... And the thing that gets me is that patriots are out there supporting him when in many ways he's not being what this country's about, being a democracy. He's not allowing other voices. And that includes the press. You may not like the press, but you still need to give freedom to the press. Right? Just as much as he can say something's fake news, the press, according to the Constitution, deserves to be there. So anyways, I've said my opinion about that. Pootie Twin says he prays for me to die. When I'm done, he's going to pray for himself too. Yeah, David really needs to, I don't want to, like, again, I am talking about David. This is really just more of a test on my DJI OSMOS Pocket camera. And, you know, I was forcing myself to figure out how to make this work. And I did think that, well, if I did come up here, I'm going to talk about David's shirt a little bit, because he practically mentions me every single day. Every single day he makes me sound like makes me a criminal in the eyes of, like, his audience or whoever he's listening. Sometimes he's even said my name or typed my name out or said heinous things in the title of his videos. I don't respect people that tell lies about other people on their channel. That's a big no-no for me. And especially when it's about me. He has no proof. David, show proof that I am guilty of your accusations. And I'll tell you something else. I invite any law enforcement to come and investigate me. That means the FBI. That means Sheriff Neil Gross. That means anybody. You want to know why? Because I'm not guilty. Come in. Come and investigate me. I'll show you everything. I'm not guilty. And it's just, it's freakish to me. And if he continues, well, then I have no choice but to do what I have to do on my end. And that might be legal, David. Because I am a fighter. I'm going to tell you something. You underestimated this bitch. Okay? And on that note, I'll see you all later. Bye.